All right. Well, yes, so 9:30 a.m. Beginning of our meeting. First on our agenda is the minutes from September 19th, which I think got sent around by Hester. Thank you. Any comments?
No, all okay.
No comments.
Yay! I'm getting better at it. Thank you.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes
So approved, so moved.
and a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And then the treasurer's report from for October. I didn't have any comments either.
Elizabeth. Elizabeth.
Yes.
Elizabeth. I had a question, like, on your name now. Are you?
Oh, yep. I've just.
Forward. Do we change?
Yes. Yep. I gave it to Shannon, so it'll be updated in the town's system.
Okay. But like the minutes now, it's all of a sudden, like for next month, you're gonna.
It's fine. We can start that way for next month. We don't need to do it for these minutes. Excuse me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So on the treasurer's report, the adjustment is just a check that is from several months ago that finally went through. That's the $395 adjustment.
Oh, okay.
Great. Thank you.
So any comments on or any questions on the treasurer's report?
Looks beautiful.
Does this include the gift from Simon Cataldo from the state? That's in there now?
It wasn't this month.
Or was it last month?
I don't think we've
Or
received it
maybe
yet, have
earlier.
we?
Yeah, I don't think we have. I'd have to look back at the previous ones, but I don't think.
Okay.
I think we know we found out that it's coming, but I'm not sure we have received it yet.
Okay.
I move we accept the treasurer's report.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. So for new business, we have the annual appeal draft letter, and I first want, even though Denny's not here, I just want to acknowledge her. She's going to continue supporting us, doing quite a bit of work on this. So I just wanted to say that out loud. Shh. This might be hopeless. We'll see. I did make updates and then sent it out with the email a couple days ago. So I just wondered if anybody had additional comments. I'm still waiting from Shannon on the number of requests, and also from Lucy on a couple of stories.
So I wanted to talk to you about the stories, because I haven't written it solidly because I wasn't sure how much room I would have. So what I'd like to do is, if you don't mind, is just read my suggestions and have you say too long, don't include that, and then I'll refine it and send it around. How about that?
Perfect.
Because I don't know how many lines will be available, but here's just the things I thought of. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little bits. First, and not in any particular order, awards for before and after school programs helped working parents, number 1. Number 2, and I don't want to number them in here, I'm just, number 2, auto repairs and insurance awards helped individuals with travels to work and elsewhere. Number 3, medical and dental awards kept individuals in good standing with doctors and medical facilities. And another one, rent and mortgage awards helped residents stay in place. And then utility subsidies ensured residents could keep their lights on. That's for a little humor in there. And then students and adults receive subsidies to help with driver's education. So those were the main ones. And it's probably too wordy, but it just gives a dashboard of some of what we do.
So I have a comment. I think that's really helpful. It helps me, have kind of the context too. My experience with fundraising letters is it works even better if you say, Susan, a 73-year-old woman needed help with rent and we were able to whatever. Really, and you can make it up. I mean, if you're worried about confidentiality, you can absolutely sort of make it up.
Well, I can do that.
I don't know how others feel. That's been my experience. So.
Well, I was thinking maybe like if we get a thank you from somebody for doing one of the things, just without the name, just say, like thank you was received for like paying my electric bill or whatever from a citizen, one that received the thing.
Well, I get lots of those.
I think the more real and specific you make it, the more impact it has.
Okay.
But again, I'm only one voice here.
I just wanted to give you an example of the spread of what we're doing.
Right, and that's great. Yeah.
I think you covered the bases of we're helping youth, we're helping seniors, and we're helping working, helping people get to work and helping people work. So we're helping people who are trying. I think we want to get that message out. And I wonder if you want to say something in a different way, is that, small medical bills can send seniors, they can't even cope with a dental bill can send them into financial trouble, or look at it that way. It's the problem that we're solving for them.
Dental, I have to say, dental has risen to the #1 issue with seniors. It's amazing because those bills are enormous. So it's good to keep dental in there and we only make a dent in their,
Right.
on their bill. It's a tiny dent.
So I like that you chose the different areas. I thought that was, and maybe we pick one or two, and dental is probably one, that are that have the most impact. I liked the rent and mortgage one because I think people aren't as aware that that's something we can help with. And to Hester's point, maybe what we do is we have one or two quotes at the bottom of the letter, which are from thank you notes, instead of trying to tell a story in the middle of the letter, just in a different font or something that just basically, or a box or something where it's someone saying, thank you for helping me with my dental bill, or thank you for the support for driver's ed. I don't know, maybe we just choose two. It's true, we don't have a lot of space because we want to keep the letter to one page.
Right. So
and I can shorten the letter to make room for it, but not too much, because there's a couple things we have to be sure we say. But I really like that personal story of someone specifically saying this made a difference in my life.
I agree. I think that grabs people.
Yeah,
It does. Yeah, because you realize it could be you or your child or your sister or your parents.
Yeah.
Or if you don't get your auto repaired, you can't drive to work. That's like one of the most critical things of all. And
Yep.
And a lot of these people have old beat up cars, and so they're constantly breaking down. So, that's like one of the most important thank yous I get is help you repair my car or pay the insurance on my car or the loan. They have loan agreements and they have to be, you know, monthly, they have to be on time or they get heavily penalized. And then I think we can drop the driver's ed because I think that's
Yeah,
important, but I think that one we can leave out.
I think so. I agree.
The before and after school programs, that doesn't affect very many people, but I can tell you those that it does affect, it has everything to do with how they're able to get to work because they can drop their child off early. The utilities, you know, that's a big one too. Brian, this one here.
I'm hearing a pretty
Right.
common theme, and I think it's true in our experience that anything we do that can help someone work is what seems to make the biggest difference, because working is exactly how they get themselves back on track. They can care for their families, for their kids, if they're able to have a job, get to a job, be healthy for a job. So maybe we pick dental and car repair, and we have it be something that has a message around being able to work.
Yeah. Good. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
I'll see what I'll do some things and I'll send it to you, and then you can see what fits in on the with the typeface and the letterhead and all of that.
That sounds great.
Thank you.
And it will, obviously it'll be anonymous, and if you want to put two together, that's fine. Like,
Of course.
thank you.
Okay.
I mean, timing wise, I think we were looking to get the letter off probably, I don't know, just before Thanksgiving. Is that right, Elizabeth? Is that what you remember? So like in November sometime, like middle November, maybe.
Yes, and if and that actually means the actual production and in the mailbox, which is kind of a lot of work, and something that Dinny has offered to help us with, which is incredible. So if I can have from Shannon and from Lucy those last two pieces, the stories and the numbers of requests, I could turn that letter around back to you for final approval. Hopefully, if I could have that information in the next week or so.
Definitely.
And then, yeah, and then I think the order is that Shannon gets it printed on the letterhead for the town. Dinny creates sort of an assembly of letters and envelopes. And then there's going to be a spreadsheet I'm working on that we'll go through as a group and just put our names next to people we know.
Mhm.
And then those people will get their letter, and we will put our own, well, everyone's going to sign the letters anyway, but if you know someone, to just put something personal there to let them know how much we appreciate their support in the past and in the future.
Right.
So yes, so the sooner I get things from Lucy and Shannon, I can finish the letter. I'll send it around just for kind of a final, yes, this looks great. And then we'll give it to Shannon and Dinny to create those the boxes of letters for us. And when also the spreadsheet, when it's ready, I'll send to you for you to let me know who you know. And then we'll send them out. We'll assemble.
So one little tiny thing that is not important, but it struck me. The dear friends and citizens of Concord, I'd probably put initial caps on friends and citizens. But it's not necessary, but I sort of looked at it and I thought, you know.
I didn't know what to do either.
Yeah.
In the
Oh, yeah.
past, in the past it was lowercase, so I copied from the
Yeah.
past, but I'm fine with either way. So capitals,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
I think it just makes it, you know,
that
we're
sounds good.
elevating them from lowercase to uppercase. They've now graduated to uppercase.
Okay, sounds great.
So since this is my first year, I have a question. You keep referring to signing the letters. I'm assuming we don't literally sign thousands of letters each.
We do.
So we do. This year,
Literally, it's not each of us signs like 5,000 letters.
no, it won't be that many.
Yeah.
So every 3 years, we send it out to the entire town, and I
Okay.
think there's a total of somewhere around 7,000 households.
Okay.
But the interim years, we send to our prior donors, which I wonder if I have. I don't know exactly how many that is. When I send around the spreadsheet, we'll have a better sense of that. And but yes, we do sign a lot of letters, and we stuff the envelopes, and we get them back to Dinny, and she puts them in the mail, and it really makes a difference for us to personally do that.
Okay, I'm hearing you. I know I'm gonna be away for a chunk of November, so please
Okay.
let me know when you have these, I mean, then the sooner the better.
Yes, and if some of you aren't able to do as many, then maybe just the people that you know, and the rest of us will divide up the rest of the letters that were yours because you're away. That's fine. We'll figure it out.
So the other thing that occurred to me, if we have that list, each of us, there might be people we would want to put on the list and say, you've heard me, you've heard me talking about Hugh Cargill Trust now for many years, and we want to add you to our donor list. I mean, that's just a personal scribble, but so we should look for or think about people we would want to make sure had the letter with our
Yes,
invitation.
Lucy. And in the past, Denny's asked, I can remember her asking me to add to
Yes.
that list on purpose, people I know personally in town that I think would like to support us. So that's true. We'll be building that list as well.
Good.
The other question was, do we include the list with the letter of donors? I think we discussed that, Elizabeth. I think I was saying I probably would like to see the list, but I'm open to other people's input. I know we had one incident where we got a letter saying their name was not on the list. So does anybody have any thoughts about including the list with the letter of all the previous donors? Like if you get something from Emerson Hospital or one of the other charity type, there is a list even with like money breakdown categories, and that's the list.
Yeah, I'm going to try. Shannon assembled the spreadsheet from town files, so we know exactly who's on the list. We won't have to maintain that ourselves anymore. But that was something, when all of this started, it was really, Dinny was doing all of it. And now we're trying to create some systems where we get a list from Shannon each year. Whoever's on the Hugh Cargill committee can say, yes, I know these people. And I'm going to try to create this letter, which had been done by hand by Dinny. I'm going to try to create a way to take the spreadsheet and make that thank you donor page. And if I succeed and it's not too difficult, then I think it's a great idea to include it. I definitely don't want anyone to feel left out. That was really too bad when we got that letter.
I think it's really important to include it, and I think people have a sense of pride. Look, my name's on there and I support the Hugh Cargill Trust. I know when they started the Concord Bridge, they did that, and people said, I never was asked to contribute. Why wasn't I asked? People have asked me that, why didn't you ask me? I said, well, I didn't have anything to do with it, but it was worth supporting. So I think people like to see that.
Just a question, are we allowed to do that without having previously asked?
I think we are, without posting the amounts.
Yeah.
Is there a place for an anonymous donation? I know, I wouldn't want to be listed. I would. So
I think when you
could
make,
put
go ahead, Bob.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna. Go ahead.
When you make your donation, that's where you note if you would like to remain anonymous. It's part of the.
If you never knew, I mean, we donate every year, and it never would have occurred to me that names might be published. So I'm sure I didn't write anything on it about I want to be anonymous. it should then, I think, at least on this year's letter, have a clear checkoff box about I would want to be written anonymous. If we're
It
gonna
does.
say names, okay.
Yep, so the envelope with the return does have that. And
Okay.
the first item on this, I don't know, it's hard to, I'm so bright
that's
today, I don't
okay.
know why.
Yeah.
It says anonymous 20.
Okay,
Right.
So if you mark anonymous, you'll be 21.
okay.
Yep. Okay, so I'll work on this one also in the spreadsheet and the letter, I mean, the list, and see if I can send both of those out to you as soon as I figure it out.
Yeah, great.
Any other comments on the letter? Does it feel right? I was trying to be really appreciative and warm.
Yeah, I think it feels like a personal letter, which is good.
Yes, very nice letter.
All right, great.
Yeah, that was very good, Elizabeth.
Okay, so good. That's other new business. Well, it's just our monthly acknowledgement of donors, which I think Shannon just takes care of for us. I leave it on our agenda, the monthly acknowledgement and thank you notes, because otherwise I'll forget to mention it, but it's being done automatically, so.
But remember, we want to know if there's someone we know that we'd like to, if it's a
Right.
secret.
So that I will tell you the names at our meetings, because
Oh,
I
good.
will have the name from the spreadsheet. So I can bring that. I can let people know those names.
Oh, good.
Thank you. Continuing business. Bob, a property tax relief update?
We have a new applicant. We're checking out, and I think is going to be qualified. We could talk about the names in our executive session. So there's one more. So we have right now, is go to my record, is around 63 applicants that receive property tax relief. If this one isn't approved.
Thank you. Anything else? We pretty much
Nope,
covered
nope.
everything quickly.
All set.
Good.
I just want to mention that later this month, I'll be getting started on the Silent Fund program we do for the holiday gifts. So I will be in touch with Bonnie and get those letters out to the guidance counselors, clergy, and others in town so we can get names for distributing those gifts at the holidays.
Hey,
Awesome.
Catherine, you mentioned like as far as the funding is concerned.
I'm going to be in contact with Bonnie doing the Silent Fund. So she really drives a lot of this. So I will be talking to her about those things then.
I just wanted to mention like the committee, town donations committee, I've looked back and they were the one we could get funds specifically for that from them. I don't know where the primary.
Yes, we do. I asked them for funding for this, all for the Silent Fund. So for the holiday gifts, I do that in October. And then I also do it for the camper ships in the spring. Get money from the donations.
Great, thanks.
I have a question about that, Catherine. Do those contributions, does it say on anything from the Hugh Cargill Trust?
It's from the it's from the Silent Fund. Which is which we administer.
Yeah, so it doesn't say anything.
So to the letter that I send, trying to solicit who we should be sending these to. So the Concord Housing Authority, the guidance counselors, that mentions the Hugh Cargill Trust and what we do.
Yeah.
But the money that has gone out in the past to individuals has not said the Hugh Cargill Trust.
Okay.
And this year we will be, instead of giving cash, we'll be writing checks, which Shannon, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I just wanted to give you a heads up that that will be over 100 checks that will be written. And I know in the past, sometimes the townhouse has run out of checks for our,
Oh,
for
yeah.
our,
Yeah, thank you for the heads up. I will order more.
okay. That's all I have.
People, some of our recipients actually have mentioned that they have received things from the Silent Fund. So I'm always glad to hear it.
Elizabeth, the letter that is going to the tax relief applicants.
Yes,
Is
thank you,
that,
Bob.
what's happening with that? Is it,
Yeah, thank you for the reminder. Shannon wrote a letter that we're going to send to those who are receiving property tax relief to remind them and encourage them to complete an application for the residential exemption. Because we want to make sure they know about it and they get our support to submit it. So yeah,
About that, do we want to consider making that a requirement?
making what a requirement.
That people apply for that residential tax? Did, you know,
I don't know. I mean, we certainly tell folks about it whenever we have someone that applies for property tax relief. I don't know. That's a good question, Esther. Whether we wouldn't, are you saying that if they request property tax relief from us, that they must submit a residential exemption?
yeah, just a question. Do we want to consider that?
Yeah.
well, I don't, why, if they don't want to get it, I think we really have to leave it up to them, I would guess, but I don't know.
Why then should we?
I don't want to make it a requirement.
Why should we be fully responsible, I guess that's not the right word, to bailing them out when there is also a way that the town can help?
I can't imagine anyone wouldn't want to. I don't know if we
Right.
need to make it a requirement, because as soon as we let them know that it's
But
available.
I don't,
Go ahead.
I think that what I'm a little hesitant about is making it a requirement. That's, that we're sending this letter saying, and certainly from property value wise, they're probably all eligible.
Mhm.
Right.
Everybody's eligible on that list.
Yeah, and our most recent tax bills have plenty of information about how to submit for this. So they've gotten that in the mail with their latest property tax. I wouldn't make it a requirement, wouldn't want to make it a requirement, but we mention it to them every time we're in contact.
Because then we'd also have
We're
to
going to,
oversee it and make sure they did. And then, it's a whole different issue for us to take on. I don't think it's up to us to enforce that. I think with all the explanation in the good letter that you're sending out, Bob and Elizabeth, they'll get the point that they should do it.
We also included the application, and I stuck return envelopes in there.
Right.
Oh, wonderful.
So it
Thank
should be
you.
very easy.
Mhm.
Thank you. Yeah, there was a question of whether we would send it to everyone, but we decided just our property tax relief recipients, because the inserts in our tax bills covered that for the whole town.
Right.
And then they will get support from the assessor's office if they have questions about the application. Okay, thanks for bringing that up, Bob. I had forgotten about that letter and it was,
What- Is that, are we supposed to sign, you and I were gonna sign that, is that right? Or did that go out already? I'm not sure, Shannon.
That went out. I thought after we met with Denny that we said we were all set.
Okay, all right.
yep. Okay. If that's everything, we can close the meeting and go to our executive session.
All
Anything-
right. And
Yeah.
anything else? Okay, I was
Oh,
just
Terry?
going to,
I just have one question.
Hi, Terry.
Hi. The state contribution that Simon Cataldo worked on, how did that come about? That was so exciting and I didn't know any background, and so I was surprised to learn of it, and I just wonder how he got involved in that.
Well, he knows about us, Terry, so I mean, through casual conversations, well, I for one, but everybody else too, met him a number of times and said how I thought he was doing such a great job.
Yeah.
He loved hearing that. And so, and I said, I'm with the Hugh Cargill Trust. I didn't have anything to do with this ask, but, I thought it didn't hurt to talk to him about what he was doing and what we were doing, because we're important in his constituency. So I'm sure a lot of people did the same thing.
All right. Thank you, Lucy.
Yeah, I like to talk us up wherever we are.
Right. Okay, great. Thank you very much.
all right. I move that we go to executive session for the purpose of discussing individuals or families seeking assistance, the disclosure of which would be a violation of privacy. Is there a second to that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you. See you in a few minutes.